my god, this is gonna be a crazy reaction. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Khalil back here for another video, man. I hope you guys really doing good, because I'm doing straight. I'm cool. It's just I've been, you know what I'm saying, just to myself, working out, you know what I'm saying, getting bigger. I hope you guys see these gains I'm getting into, you feel me? Today we're gonna be reacting to King Von, rap's first serial killer. We gonna look into this, man. This is, oh shit, I just dropped my controller. What the fuck? Alright. Oh shit. But we gonna look into this. This is a 3-hour video, man. I ain't gonna stir y'all too much. I might feel sleepy, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna dig in, see how long we could go, and we gonna go from there, man. Hope you guys really enjoy. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. Let's get into it, man.
Warning, this video contains themes of violence, death, and gang activity. This video is for educational and documentary purposes only. This video is not intending to incite or encourage illegal behavior in any way. Every effort has been made to remove any content which violates YouTube's community guidelines. If you'd like to see an uncut version of this video with everything that I can't show you on YouTube, head on over to patreon.com/traplaw. After he got rich and famous, with it being rumoured that Von used his money and influence from the rap game to have old enemies in Chicago killed, and going on a journey which, in my opinion, takes him far beyond a street player who had to kill to survive in the mean streets of Chicago, because if King Von's tweets are anything to go by, he simply loved killing people. And the sheer amount of people that King Von allegedly played a role in killing has led to intense speculation.
This is speculation and killing all these people for real? King, bro, what is that, like 12 people, bro? Like, what? That's 11 people. God damn. This nigga killed me.
As to whether he was a full-blown serial killer. A title which King Von's enemies even said that him and his friends took personal pride in. Now, the FBI defines a serial killer as a person who kills over 3 people with time spans in between them of more than a month. Furthermore, serial killers tend to have an element of psychological gratification which plays a role in the motive for their murders. The FBI also state that a serial killer might seek various kinds of gratification through their killings, such as anger, thrill-seeking, financial gain, or simply for attention. I personally believe that over the course of his career, King Von demonstrated all of these characteristics and can indeed be classified as a serial killer. King Von frequently exhibited behavior in public that conformed
just to put my like intake on it, you know what I'm saying? Being where King Von is from, and you really gotta like protect yourself. Will that really be deemed as a serial killer if you really gotta protect yourself though from your own opposition? You know what I'm saying? Cause if he is serial killer for like protecting himself, or like going out really, cause I don't know, like I don't know, but I know if you have like ops, you feel me, you really gotta protect yourself. I don't think King Von, in my opinion, is just going out there just killing random ass people. That's a serial killer in my opinion. Like literally like killing random ass people in different sort of ways, like Ted Bundy type shit, if you want my opinion. But I don't think necessarily he was just knocking motherfuckers off that was trying to kill him. That's what it seemed like, in my opinion. In my opinion, King Von, you feel me? Because if that's the case, that means the army and all these other motherfuckers are serial killers. But that's my opinion.
Formed with these rules, tweeting regularly about his desire to kill, bragging about having committed specific murders in his music, which attracted him international attention and Billboard charting songs, with his drill anthems about murdering rivals making him a rich man with millions in his bank account. The FBI also point out another characteristic of serial killers, specifically that their victims may all have something in common. For example, a demographic profile, appearance, gender, or race. And it would appear that King Von only killed young black men and women from the community he lived in. These were all people just like him, being born into a rundown part of Chicago and growing up with a lot of disadvantages. All that really separated Von from his victims were the fact that they were from a rival territory, and he believed that nobody would miss them. King Von has officially been implicated in 4 murders, 2 where he was suspected of being involved, but the police didn't have enough evidence to charge, and 1 case where he narrowly received a not guilty verdict after a key witness disappeared and a co-defendant implicated himself. Another that he's accused of organising with 5 of his closest childhood friends, the shooting of rival rapper FBG Duck in broad daylight at a busy shopping district, Von will never face justice for due to him losing his life only months before the feds would swoop in and arrest all 5 of his close friends. This particular...
Yeah. I ain't gonna cap though. If King Von was still alive, he ain't never like lost his life in Atlanta, I ain't gonna cap. He'll be in jail right now. Bro just said all types of other shit, that speculations, all types of ish on him. I feel like he'll be in jail right now.
Murder would go down as one of the most brazen assassinations carried out in Chicago since the days of Al Capone. But in total, there's over 10 murders of which King Von has been connected to over the years. Nobody has looked into all of them in great detail until now. So today, we're going to take a closer look at the man, his past, and his career to find out once and for all if King Von really was the first serial killer in hip-hop history.
He was in jail for 2 murders?
Yeah, 1 murder and 2 attempts.
4 shooters and a hail of bullets.
All of them was scatter bomb. All of them was scatter bomb.
Police found several shell casings in this parking lot.
King Von was bloodthirsty. He loved death. He loved killing.
I got a lot of fights. Just for how many I think?
King Von had a insatiable obsession with murder and violence.
The shooting leaves one.
Listen, okay, it could be taken as a serial killer if you have an obsession with killing and violence. I know these other people saying shit about him, but is it really like protecting yourself at this point, or is he really like literally like blicking people down? Cause you feel me? Cause if it is at that point where he just killing people, like okay, that's a serial killer, but yeah, and this
person dead, 4 others injured.
Hey, I know you. You ain't know me.
King Von probably would have been considered like a serial killer.
They labeled the man a serial killer. Them.
Bro, is he really?
King Von, real name Davon Bennett, was born on August the 9th, 1994, in Chicago, Illinois. Growing up on West 78th and South Hermitage, in an area known as Killer Ward, an area mainly affiliated with the Chicago gangs, the Gangster Disciples, and the Black Peace Stones. Von would attend Barton Elementary School in the area, but despite starting life as a fairly normal kid in Chicago, he would be subjected to the influence of gangbanging in his family home from a young age. His father was Walter E. Bennett, aka Silk, a well-known street dude from nearby Ada Park. Von was mainly raised by his mother, as his father was in and out of jail throughout his childhood. But Von's father was apparently a legend in the streets, with ties to the street gang, the Black Disciples. However, much like Von, despite the fearsome reputation he'd earned in the streets, it would ultimately be this proximity to gang life that would lead to his father's demise, as King Von's dad Silk was shot dead when Von was only 11 years old, apparently being targeted by a sniper outside of a skating rink, according to an interview with King Von's uncle.
Rest in peace, King Von. Rest in peace, Silk. That's crazy. Like, I'm with Big Bro every day. My kill his daddy with a sniper rifle. This
sniper rifle?
deep, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Are you telling me this man got killed by a 50 cal, bro? Is that what you trying to tell me? Cause all I'm thinking about, I mean, I know snipers come in different calibers, but most snipers be coming in like in a big ass 45 to 50 cal. Bro, who the fuck shot his pops, bro? Like a sniper? What?
Yeah, a sniper. I hit him with a sniper rifle. They at the skate rink, but you know, that's another story.
It seems clear that King Von's father Silk was remembered as a legend of the block. However, coping with the loss of his father at such a young age clearly had a negative effect on the mindset of a young King Von. He would tweet and rap in freestyles years later that he simply couldn't sleep after his father's death.
They killed my daddy, I couldn't even go to sleep.
And throughout his teenage years, he would post RIP tributes to his father on Twitter to commemorate his birthdays. Naturally, Von would follow in his father's footsteps, getting involved in local gang politics at a young age, with Von actually telling 16-shot visuals in his very first interview that he got involved in the streets in 4th grade, eventually getting his hands on guns by the time he got to high school.
You was out here toting pipes in 4th grade, like when you started?
I probably had a BB gun or something. It wasn't that hectic, like, it ain't get, I just been, you know, in the streets. There's also, I just like being outside. You know, one of the little boys that like sleeping out, just being outside all day, just doing bed. When the gun, all that stuff, that shit come to play to like what? High school. Yeah, like late 8th grade or some 7th, 8th grade when it really got to that point where you gotta hurt somebody or somebody trying to hurt you or you gotta protect yourself.
Von would rap on the unreleased song.
See, that's what I'm saying. If it's on that type of timing, you feel me? Like, you gotta protect yourself. I can understand that, you feel me? Niggas gotta protect yourself if you in a, you know what I'm saying, a bad neighborhood. That's all I got to say.
On
Like,
weight that he
I can
jumped off the
understand
porch,
that.
getting deeply involved in gang politics
crazy,
in
though.
2006 when he was just 12 years old. Von would initially be a member of a local street crew affiliated with the Gangster Disciples called Killer Ward, being seen in numerous group pictures with that crew. And affiliates from the area would later post tweets suggesting that Von was indeed putting in work for this crew during his time gangbanging in Killer Ward, with Von himself corroborating that he was close to the members in Killer Ward where he was born, but making it clear that he's always been a member of the Black Disciples due to his family affiliation. Now, Von would live around Killer Ward up to around 2008 or 9, after which he would eventually move to the infamous Parkway Gardens housing development. This housing complex is notorious for its affiliations with the Black Disciples street gang. Parkway Gardens would later be referred to by insiders as O Block, but prior to that, it was referred to as Wick City. And here, King Von would meet many of the people who would end up having a huge influence on his life and career. People famous for their affiliation to O Block, whether through the gang wars going on there, or through the music that had been made about the gang war. People like Boss Top, Chief Keef, T-Roy, White, Duke, BJ, Big A, Trey 5, Sharoid, J Money, Platoon, and countless other people that played a big role in Von's life growing up. Von would also attend a new school in the area, the Hyde Park Academy, where he would attend with people from other rival territories with affiliations to the Gangster Disciples. People like FBG Duck, who would even claim in a Twitter exchange in 2014 to have plotted to beat King Von up on the school bus.
What does that say? Oh man, you ain't never go top up boy, you messing around, singing time. These niggas tripping.
And people like Lil Mark, who Von would even be seen in throwback pictures with before their feud had escalated into something deadly. Von and his friends started out their gangbanging careers with fistfights with the ops at school, schoolyard scuffles that would unfortunately escalate over the coming years, developing into full-blown gang war with firearms involved. Over time, a teenage Von would begin getting more and more involved in Chicago's street gang conflicts, apparently bringing guns to school as young as age 13. Chop Squad, who went to school with both Von and G Herbo, would claim that Von would even show off guns in class, with it apparently being Von himself who started the trend of teenage gangbangers in their school bringing guns to class.
Von was the type of person to bring a pole to school at 13 for. Like, that's what me and Herb was talking about. Herb was like, he knew it was real when Von walked up to him in school. He was like, he had flashed the pole or something. He was like, Herb knew every day from there it was up. He was like, oh, we bringing guns to school? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's on now. He's like, every day from there, everybody brought guns to school.
Boy, what the fuck?
And he was like, Von was the one to start that off.
In fact, G Herbo would even later rap about this on a collaboration with Von called FaceTime, saying that Von showed him a revolver in freshman orientation, an experience which led G Herbo to begin bringing guns to school himself too. Now, King Von was apparently out of control as a youngster. According to one story, Von actually did a shooting on prom night whilst wearing his suit, after literally tweeting out that somebody better not try him in his suit. So naturally, you can imagine, Von ended up spending a significant amount of time in trouble with the law as a teenager, with large patches of his most formative years spent inside jail cells. Von went to jail for the first time around August 2010 at age 16 for armed robbery, apparently robbing someone for their car at gunpoint. Something that he would actually later refer to on his song Armed and Dangerous, saying that he was arrested on August 11th, 2 days after his 17th birthday, when he was offered 21 to 45 years in a plea deal. Von would end up spending time in boot camp, an intense military-style juvenile program, ultimately rewarding him with early release. But soon after that initial charge, Von would catch another in January 2011, ultimately spending 15 months behind.
Yo, this nigga is going in and out of jail like it's nothing, bro. Like, this shit is not even cool at this point. Like, this shit is not even cool. Why this nigga keep going in and out of jail? Like, I understand your product of your environment so much, but like, what the fuck? Yeah, at this point, I feel like it's giving kind of serial killer type of shit, because it's like my nigga, ain't you don't you know, like, right between wrong and all of that? I ain't gonna say all of that. I know you gotta protect yourself. I know you gotta get money. I know you gotta, like, feed your family and so on and off. But damn, nigga, what the fuck? This thing is going in and
behind
out.
bars as a juvenile, being locked
Like,
up between
what the
December
hell,
2010
bro?
and March 2012.
This
And
shit
during
is
this time of
crazy.
incarceration, Von's best friend T-Roy would tweet calling for his release. Eventually, in March 2012, Von would be a free man once again, but he was only free for a matter of months, from March to November
2012,
2012, but during
see
this
it.
time, Von would undergo a transformation, going from a gun-toting stick-up kid to a full-fledged killer after witnessing the death of one of his close friends, which, as he put it, turned him into a demon.
Goddamn.
Before we get into the first murders that King Von was allegedly involved in, I just want to take the time to consider the real reasons why he would be motivated to kill in the first place. Despite covering a lot of gangsters who are hardened killers, it's important to consider the social circumstances that need to exist for a teenage boy to start committing murders. Firstly, these areas where King Von grew up in Southside Chicago, Killer Ward and O Block, are incredibly poor and dangerous areas, with the latter even being described by the local Sun-Times newspaper as the most dangerous block in Chicago. Part of the reason why so many of these gang murders in Chicago go unsolved is due to the failure of policing in these areas. Someone like King Von grew up seeing death and destruction as a completely normal thing. And if the police never come to your area to solve crimes or deliver justice, it's easy to see why you would place more trust in street justice than in the state. Furthermore, you really have to ponder whose fault is it really?
Nigga, them politicians and those people in that city, that's them, nigga. That's their fault, bro. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. It's them people's fault. They do not care. They want black people to kill each other as much as possible. That's why they don't do anything. I even saw another video. I'm just gonna say real quick, like, cops literally went down the O Block and dropped like a whole pile of like guns on the street, some shit like that. They just dropped them on the street and they just want the niggas of that community to just kill each other, the people of that community, which is O Block, to just kill each other. Majority is all black people. So they just dropped hella guns over there and they just wanted them to go rampant with the guns and just start shooting everybody with it. Like,
that somewhere like O Block ended up being so poor and dangerous. While it's easy to blame the gangsters and killers there for cultivating a lawless environment, the city and the state politicians ultimately have failed to create the economic circumstances for someone to grow up safely in these areas. Had there been better economic prospects in the hoods of Chicago, perhaps many of these young men wouldn't have been forced into a life of crime and violence. Furthermore, when it comes to the analysis of King Von's eventual transformation into what some have described as a serial killer, there's actually an argument to be made that geography may have played a part in King Von feeling like he could get away with so many murders. The 70s to the 2000s have actually been described as the golden age of serial murder, and one possible cause for this phenomenon around this period has been cited as urbanization and the concentration of inner city living. Some people have said that putting so many people in such close proximity ends up offering a unique level of anonymity when it comes to committing crimes in these complicated, busy and overpopulated areas. Put simply, this means that in O Block, the sheer amount of people, overlapping gang conflicts, and normalization of violence on the streets means that somebody like King Von could kill multiple people without attracting too much attention to him personally. As sad as it is to say, in the eyes of the cops, a victim is just another casualty of the gang war rather than a specific crime that could be solved. And it's these circumstances that were the perfect conditions for a young King Von to begin killing people in his community with minimal consequences. And whilst King Von was in jail, gun violence had raged on between the black disciples from Wick City and the rival gangster disciples from St. Lawrence and Eberhard Avenues, or STL-EBT. And during this time whilst King Von was incarcerated, a 15-year-old gangster disciple from the rival hood by the name of Tuka was murdered. Real name Shondale Gregory, Tuka was shot dead at a bus stop on the 600 block of East 63rd Street.
Bro, I remember this, bro. Everybody would be saying that one smoking on that, you feel me? That shit was getting so annoying because I'll for real be saying like, bro, that's a real person, bro. Stop saying that shit. Stop saying that shit. Like niggas used to be tripping. They would
on the
just
12th
be
of
saying
January
that shit
2011
all the
at
time.
around
Don't
6:48
know
p.m.
what
It was around that time that a masked gunman jumped out of a vehicle, shooting Tuka several times. Tuka was hated by his rivals from the Black Disciples, and over the next decade, BDs would continue to disrespect him on social media and in popular songs. And in honor of their fallen friend, gangster disciples from St. Lawrence and Eberhard would rename their area Tookaville. It's never been fully revealed to the public who killed Tooka, but ever since, there has been intense speculation that a boy named O.D. Perry from Wick City might have had something to do with it. This is partly due to him being pictured regularly with a silver revolver, and the witness report from the Tooka murder stated that Tooka was actually shot with a long-barreled silver revolver. Regardless of whether or not OD was really the person who killed Tooka, that didn't really matter, because later that year, on August the 10th, 2011, in an act of retaliation, OD Perry was killed just outside Parkway Gardens. He would suffer multiple gunshot wounds, including one to the neck, at about 11:35 PM. Just like Tookaville, Wick City was also renamed in the memory of their fallen friend OD, O-Block, and it's believed that one of the shooters who killed OD was a female teenage shooter by the name of Jakira Barnes, or K.I.
That's a female, bro? What the fuck? I ain't trying to be disrespectful or nothing. I'm just saying. Like, that's a female, bro. That's a manly.
Following the murder, K.I. would begin to pose on social media with a silver revolver, similar to the one that OD was known to carry. And her rumoured involvement in this murder of a beloved O-Block member would lead to K.I. becoming a major target herself, with matters not helped by the fact that she would regularly tweet insulting OD Perry and alluding to having killed him, along with others who would openly claim that K.I. made the O, meaning that she killed OD and was the one that caused Wick City to change the name of their block to O-Block. But the tragedies in O-Block were far from over. On the 18th of October 2011, another O-Block native by the name of Patoon, real name Edward Riley, would be shot dead inside O-Block after being approached by two people with firearms. Another devastating loss to the community would come when 19-year-old Sherroyd Liggins would be shot in the head and left for dead on February the 16th, 2012, also at O-Block. This murder was particularly notable for the fact that it was believed that Sherroyd was killed by a Tookaville shooter by the name of Boss Trell. As the gang war in his neighbourhood continued to take more and more of his friends' lives, King Von would get more and more involved, continuing to play a role in the gang war going on in Chicago's street underworld.
Okay, this sounded more like vengeance, like literally vengeance, because all the people that's literally taking his friend's life, he getting more angrier and angrier and angrier, and it's like fueling his fire to go out there and, you know what I'm saying, get the job done. Like, he probably fell in love with doing it, got hella comfortable, and then start ravaging out. But
later rapped on the song Don't Want to Be Me that everything changed for him in 2012, and that this is when he decided to get more active in the gang war, with Von saying specifically that the deaths of OD and Patoon completely changed his plans and led him to put on a mask and get active in the gang war. Now, there's a lot of speculation about the exact murders that Von was allegedly involved in, and we might never know definitively if he was truly involved in all the violence that he was rumoured to be associated with, but the very first murder that Von was associated with took place on April the 28th, 2012, when a group of 4 men would catch a man called King Doc, real name Marlon Monroe, shooting him as he walked into a convenience store, with Doc apparently stumbling into a patch of tall weeds after the shooting, where he would pass away and lay undiscovered for hours. Doc would eventually be found dead by his 16-year-old cousin, Modell McCambry. Doc would be remembered as an original native of St. Lawrence and Eberhard Avenues, with his affiliation to the area likely the reason that the killers from O-Block would target him, despite the fact that Doc had apparently left the gang life behind him, becoming a painter to get out of the streets. Apparently hurt by the death of his cousin, Modell, that boy who discovered Doc's body, would then begin to get more involved in the gangs in the area too, beginning to hang around with people like K.I. and FBG Duck, as well as being seen on social media with guns. In fact, it's actually around this time that social media begins to play a bigger and bigger role in the gang war in Chicago. And during this time, King Von himself would become a prolific user of Twitter, beginning a flurry of activity on the platform after signing up in June 2012, and going on to tweet constantly about his activities in the streets, seemingly with no fear about incriminating himself. Von would openly claim to be drilling in the name of O.D. Perry. He would say that he was like Phineas and Ferb in the streets with his best friend and fellow O-Block shooter T-Roy, warning ops not to diss them, claiming to shoot people like it's nothing. He would tweet that he's been drilling from young and even wants to kill cops too. He would say outright that he will whack people. He would regularly diss numerous rival hoods and gangs, and be claiming to be paranoid due to having so many people trying to kill him. Von claimed on Twitter to get so enraged whenever he hears the name...
That kind of explains it right there, though. Him just saying, like, it's hella people out there to kill this. But, I mean, shit, you doing dirt, you feel me? I don't know if that's driven though to be a serial.
Tuca
I
or
don't
St.
know.
Lawrence,
At
that his
the
trigger
same
finger just
time.
starts itching. But during this time that Von
That's
was
crazy.
tweeting openly about all the crimes that he was willing to do in the streets, these crimes would continue to play out. On August the 7th, 2012, Von would make a tweet saying that homicide is in the air and that it smells like a graveyard. Then, in the early hours of the morning the following day, on August the 8th, 2012, a group of guys from O Block, rumoured to include King Von and T-Roy, would be out looking for enemies to kill. Dirty Rel, real name Terrell Joshua, an older member with affiliations to St. Lawrence, Eberhard, and Jarrow City, who had actually moved out of Chicago but was back in town, would end up being shot dead and found on a sidewalk on the first block of East 56th Street in Washington Park just before 3:30 a.m. However, in this case, retaliation would come fast. As the day of August 8th, 2012 goes by, that same evening, around 11:30 p.m, King Von is out with his close friend White White, real name Tony Dunn. They would go to a convenience store together on East 63rd Street and South Martin Luther King Drive. Here, Von would go inside the store whilst White White waited outside. At this point, a gunman pulls up, shooting White White in the back, with a police officer on the scene even returning fire and hitting the shooter, who ultimately managed to escape. White White would be pronounced dead in the early hours of the morning on August the 9th, 2012. This date just so happened to be King Von's 18th birthday. This was a devastating incident for Von, who would tweet numerous times about the murder of his friend Whitey, including this one where he said that he had just bought Whitey a pill and gone inside the store, only coming back outside to find a crowd surrounding his shot friend, and at first believing that Whitey would be...
Man, what the fuck? White got killed. I just bought that man a pill. It's on my eye. I went to the store, had shots of shit. And just ran out the store. I see folks and I'm tweaking, crying the wrong way. Got hit one time. He looked like he was straight though. Oh man.
be okay. After this,
That's
Von would
crazy,
tweet
bro.
messages saying that this killing is what led him to act out, and in the days following, he would be pledging to kill his enemies publicly. Von later elaborated on his mindset around this period in his song Demon, saying outright that witnessing the death of his close friend Whitey on his 18th birthday is the exact thing that turned him.
So my only question, I guess, and like hypothesis to it, like, what if none of his friends really got like passed? Like, what if his friends never even got shot? Do you think King Von would still be committing violence and doing stuff, or just doing shit just to get by, or just protecting himself? You know what I'm saying? Just a little question, because it's like, it's all seeming like it's coming from him just having vengeance for his friends, like literally getting payback for his friends, for real.
To a demon. And Von would rap that after this, him and his right-hand man T-Roy would be doing hits back-to-back to avenge this tragic loss. Von would apparently be trying to kill much more ruthlessly after this, desperately wanting to get at rival shooters K.I. and Wooski, who had mocked White's death on Twitter. In September 2012, King Von and others caught K.I. on the train, apparently beating her up and mocking her on Twitter in the aftermath. Von would eventually catch up with K.I. in much more deadly circumstances, but not for a couple of years. For now, he would continue to gangbang in the streets with his O-Block brothers like T-Roy, ultimately winding up implicated in numerous murders as he continued to seek revenge for the murder of White, and one body at a time, building up a fearsome reputation as one of O-Block's most ruthless killers.
God damn, man.
Chicago drill veteran Tay Capone would tell 16 Shot and Visuals in an interview that if you hung around King Von in 2012, you simply had to accept that you would be in shootouts.
If you was hanging with Von, you had to accept everything that came with Von. You had to accept that you was gonna be in shootings, accept that it was gonna be that, and you had to be with it. You feel me? With Von.
Shit, nigga. I won't be in the first place, but shit, nah. Shit.
King Von was on a mission in 2012 to get revenge for the friends that he had lost to the gang war. Losing OD, Platoon, and White turned him into a demon, he said. So he would spend every day in the streets of Chicago stalking his ops and broadcasting his activities on Twitter for the whole world to see. On September the 6th, 2012, Von would get arrested, even taking selfies for Twitter inside of the cop car. He would post pictures of him and his partner in crime, T-Roy, dubbing themselves the O-Block Savages. In fact, after posting one picture together, one woman from O-Block even suggested that Von and T-Roy stop being photographed together in case somebody sends it to the police. Von would tweet how him and T-Roy's names were ringing in the streets and that people were praising them for doing their thing, regularly using this as a catchphrase to refer to his drilling, tweeting warnings to the ops that he's about to go on their block and do his thingy thing, telling them that they have 2 hours to clear the streets and promising to blast them on sight. Von would even reflect on a conversation that he had had with T. Roy, saying that they can't die soon because they know they're going to hell for all the bad things they had done in the streets. Von would even openly tweet about shooting up Dunbar High School around this time, and unsurprisingly, he would continue to be in the eyes of the law, being picked up in
now that one, I ain't gonna cap. Shooting out of schools full of hella kids in there and shit. Now that's kind of tripping. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, all of this is tripping. It's crazy. It's bad. But it's like at a school though. That's wild. That's pretty wild.
October for battery, but little did the police know just how serious Von's crimes were about to get in the coming weeks. On the 13th of October 2012, Von tweeted that he is about to pop these pills and spaz out on somebody, expressing frustration that he hasn't taken anybody down for a while and saying that he's getting dry, perhaps a tweet with a double meaning that could refer to sex or murder. That very same day,
what is that nigga talking about? How did you get sex out of getting dry? What?
Meaning that could refer to sex or murder. Now, just how serious Von's crimes were about to get in the coming weeks. On the 13th of October 2012, Von tweeted that he is about to pop these pills and spaz out on somebody, expressing frustration that he hasn't taken anybody down for a while and saying that he's getting dry. Perhaps a
Bro. Yeah, that's how you know, like, people like these, you know what I'm saying, making videos upon, like, who is and all of that other stuff, it don't really be knowing what they be talking about. It's okay with the facts and him putting all this together, that's cool, but it's like, you just saying that, just literally, just like, okay, just don't talk no more, because dry, I mean, like, I'm getting dry, like, I'm getting boring, you feel me, it's getting boring. It's dry outside.
A tweet with a double meaning that could refer to sex or murder. That very same day, Von would tweet that his ops party tonight is getting cancelled. Later, Von is tweeting asking for somebody to come and get him. And 30 minutes later, Von tweets simply, "Ha," followed by 45 Glock me. That very night of October the 13th, 2012, Modell, that same teen who had found the body of his cousin King Doc dead just 6 months before, would be walking down the street with another one of his cousins on their way to meet a girl. When just before 9:30 PM, somebody approached them on foot, opening fire. Modell would be shot in the chest and later pronounced dead in hospital. No one was ever charged with this.
Hold on, I'm doing a reaction. I'm gonna call you back.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Alright. Bruh. They killed... Bro. What?
Meaning that could refer to sex or murder.
Bruh, I keep
that very
going
same
back to
day,
this
Von
damn
testified
spot.
by a witness as the shooter,
That's crazy,
with T. Roy apparently at the scene too. This meant that King Von was the prime suspect in the murder. And not only that, but King Von would tweet immediately after the killing. Now, it's important to remember that Twitter timestamps run on Universal Coordinated Time. That's the same as UK time, and that's where I'm reading these tweets from, which is 6 hours ahead of Chicago time. So for me to get the exact time of a tweet that was made by King Von or KI or somebody else in Chicago, I have to take the time that it shows on Twitter and -6. I'm telling you this because Modell was shot at around 9:30 PM. That means that King Von tweeted who died about 17 minutes after the murder of Modell took place.
Damn, bro, that is crazy, man. To like throw like blims or throw Easter eggs out there that you like kind of blick somebody, that's wow. And that's not enough evidence to just go and arrest somebody too. That's pretty crazy, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, you can't do nothing about that one. You can just look at it and be like, what is he talking about type shit.
And that tweet was followed by yet another one reading, "It's not safe around our way," which came less than an hour after the shooting. And Von's "who died" tweet would provoke responses from somebody who even knew Modell, with Von saying that the dead person is somebody that they know. In addition to that exchange, the female shooter from Tuckerville, KI, would end up getting arrested not long after this for apparently shooting indiscriminately into O Block, hoping to kill anybody in retaliation for Modell. None of this seemed to bother King Von, however, as he clearly got a lot of satisfaction out of having seemingly killed again. The day after the murder of Modell, Von would tweet that him and T. Roy have a problem, and that they can't stop doing their thingy thing. Von would tweet that the streets are in trouble when he's coming, and he would brush off the cops' attempts to arrest him. In fact, only 2 days after the killing, he would get into an argument with a well-known Tuckerville GD known as Wooski on Twitter. Wooski had inferred that he had been out looking to catch Von that day, asking him where they were at, with Von leaving a heartless reply saying that he was getting t-shirts made for Modell's funeral. Unsurprisingly, Von would find himself on the radar of the police following the murder of Modell, getting picked up for unlawful possession of a firearm and being questioned in October 2012, with Von later tweeting that the cops grabbed him and warned him to be careful. Apparently the cops even told Von that when they question their ops, they all talk about him and T-Roy, suggesting that their names are feared in the streets. Von would even tweet after that his own mother was beginning to hear the rumours about his violent behaviour in the streets and she was trying to put him on punishment. But Von wasn't deterred, and he kept using Twitter to increase his reputation as a killer. In the streets. Von would even tweet after that
my mama talking about she been hearing about me and now she trying to put me on punishment. That shit dead. This man crazy, bro.
His own mother was beginning to hear the rumours about his violent behaviour in the streets and she was trying to put him on punishment. But Von wasn't deterred, and he kept using Twitter to increase his reputation as a killer. The following month, Von would be sending unprovoked Twitter @s at Wooski asking if he knew who killed Modell, provoking responses from numerous ops who wanted to see Von dead, including Wooski and KI. And to me, this is where we see King Von really beginning to take pleasure in killing. For years to come, he would tweet mocking Modell, saying it's messed up what happened to him and that he's a straight sucker. It's this sort of behaviour where I believe that Von crosses the line from a normal gangbanger killing to survive to a full-blown serial killer who is taking...
Okay, I get where he coming from. I get where bro is coming from, I ain't gonna lie. Like, he said this is where he passed from a normal gangbanger into a full-blown serial killer. I kind of get it, but it's like y'all killing his friends. That's making him go crazy. But it's at the same time like this nigga is going crazy. I don't know. I gotta call a spade a spade. That nigga is a drilling serial killer, or I don't know how to pronounce it.
Taking the lives of others systemically for his own personal gratification. At this point, Von has already satisfied the conditions of being a serial killer, having allegedly killed more than 3 people in different locations with large periods of time in between the killings. And his tweets express a clear tendency to take pleasure in killing and a desire to show the world what he's doing. In a way, King Von's purpose in life at this point in time wasn't just revenge and murder for sport. It was about doing these crimes and giving the world clues about what he had done. And as the story goes on,
I ain't gonna lie, like, I don't believe he giving it to this world because he don't really have that many followers, like, as you can see, like, on these, like,
in killing. For years to come,
my nigga is only getting like 4 likes, you know what I'm saying? He really just doing it towards them. That's it. Like, he ain't even saying it to like hella other people. Like, people don't even know this nigga around this time. Only people in Chicago who know this person. Nobody don't really know him. That's why I'm just saying, okay, for the world, it's probably for the world right now if he speaking in past tense, but if he's talking like right now, like during this time, March 7, 2014, like, I ain't hearing nothing about this man. I don't know who he was. I don't think he had like that, you know what I'm saying? Had all that clout during that time.
He would tweet mocking Modell, saying it's messed up what happened to him and that he's a straight sucker. It's this sort of behaviour where I believe that Von crosses the line from a normal gangbanger killing to survive to a full-blown serial killer who is taking the lives of others systemically for his own personal gratification. At this point, Von has already satisfied the conditions of being a serial killer, having allegedly killed more than 3 people in different locations with large periods of time in between the killings. And his tweets express a clear tendency to take pleasure in killing and a desire to show the world what he's doing. In a way, King Von's purpose in life at this point in time wasn't just revenge and murder for sport. It was about doing these crimes and giving the world clues about what he had done. And as the story goes on, you'll see King Von constantly hint towards his crimes on social media, in his music, and even on television. But now, the pattern had emerged, and Von clearly had a thirst for blood. He was becoming a talented shooter and not facing any consequences for these crimes. And so, in the coming months, Von would be rumoured to have been connected to at least 3 more murders, with the police only catching up to him when it was too late. In late 2012...
We gonna have to end it right here. I'm gonna end it right here. the murder of P5. If you guys want to see more videos like this, man, make sure you guys just go like, share, subscribe to the channel, man. Share this to your grandma, your mama, everybody, man, your dad, anybody. You feel me? This is a crazy reaction. And make sure you guys go ahead, look at the, you know what I'm saying, the most recent video of mine right here, right there, in the middle, on the left. And make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. It's your boy Khalil. It's a crazy ass video. And I'm out, man. Peace.